So, Star Wars Celebration is currently happening, unless, of course, you're watching this video a few days after its release, in which case it is not. But it happened. It is the 12th of April. It is 8 o'clock in the evening, just after. And a few hours ago, there was the Star Wars Episode 9 panel. And I missed it, because I was at work. But I got home, and I knew the panel had been on. I went straight onto YouTube, and lo and behold, the Star Wars Episode 9 teaser trailer was ready for me. Oh my god. I am incredibly excited for this film. I know a lot of people have, shall we say, mixed feelings about it, but oh boy, I am ready for this film when it comes out in 8 months. I got a bit of waiting to do. So, first of all, this is not a reaction video. I've seen this several times already. What I am going to be doing is going through this 2 minutes and 3 seconds of film and stopping and starting and having a look at every little thing so we can get a sense of what this trailer is showing us and get a sense of what it could mean for the film itself when it is released in December. So, without further ado, let's go into it. We start with some very heavy breathing from Rey. And, you know, heavy breathing like that usually implies that you've been doing a fair bit of strenuous exercise. However, she's standing completely still. This is just the completely raw adrenaline that you can almost feel it coming out of the trailer at you. It's powerful. I think it really is. We have opened much like the Force Awakens trailer on the desert. This could be Jakku, because we've been there before. We started there, ending there could, well, I think it would be a nice fit for the trilogy. I will not rule out, however, the idea that this could be Tatooine. We haven't seen rock formations like that on Jakku, as far as I can remember. And I know that they exist on Tatooine. They've been seen, possibly not. Well, they have been seen in the films too, and certainly they have been featured like this in the games as well, the non-canon games. But you know, they still existed, right? There is another reason why I think it could possibly be Tatooine, which I will share later, because we're not quite there yet. We're going to hear a voice, too.
We've passed on all we know.
It's Luke's voice. And, well, that's fair, I think. Luke's part in this story is not over. Even though he vanished and, you know, essentially died at the end of The Last Jedi, he has potential to still be around as a Force ghost. Yoda could have certainly taught him that ability. And I think he still has a lot to offer. I know a lot of fans were dissatisfied, shall we say, with how he was in The Last Jedi. So a potential way to bring him back to how he was through this story, or through this part of the story, would make sense. His role in the story is certainly not ended yet, I don't think. Interrupting mid-sentence. Also, the lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber, now Rey's lightsaber, completely fixed. It was split completely in half in the ending of The Last Jedi, and seemingly completely busted. But apparently that is not the case. It has been able to be reconstructed and is back in Rey's possession. Also, we'll see in a sec, we've got something coming.
Thousand generations live in you now.
Also, I'm going to point out, I do like how I was pointing at the screen, you can't see where I'm pointing. I do like how she keeps her blaster as well. It's, well, nice to have a backup weapon, obviously. And I think the more reason why she keeps the blaster around is because it was given to her by Han Solo, who was a real mentor to her. And it makes sense that she would keep it as a reminder of him, and that he'll always, carrying on his work, his legacy, seeing as, Ben Solo did a pretty crap job of that, to be honest. Also, as we can now see over here and hear in that iconic noise, we've got a TIE fighter coming in.
But this is your fight.
Every generation has a legend. In the Star Wars universe, Anakin was a legend during the Clone Wars. Luke was a legend during the Civil War, the Galactic Civil War. And I suppose it hasn't really got that far yet, but I think Rey is the legend of this story, of this trilogy. But also I think it's true for Star Wars fans too, in the sense that the generation before me had the original trilogy, I had the prequel trilogy, and the new generation has the sequel trilogy. And, opinions are divided, I get that. But I think it's true nonetheless. Every generation has a Star Wars legend which they can enjoy. Nice long pan across the desert. It's a bit blurry because it's so fast. That's a TIE Interceptor, not a regular old bummy TIE fighter. This is one of the quick ones. "This is your fight," Luke says. And then she immediately turns her back. Bit strange, don't you think? There's a TIE fighter coming in and you're just going to turn and face the other way. What could be going on here? We can assume, I think it's fair to assume, that this is the inside, the cockpit of that TIE fighter. And I think it's also a safe assumption that this is Kylo Ren. A lot of the times when we've seen, Kylo Ren in his cockpit, ready to go, he's got his hands gripped tightly on the controls, like he is, or like we see here. However, there is something different this time. Usually, when he's gripping his controls like that, his thumbs are also ready on the trigger, ready to fire that laser cannon. Not this time. This time, his thumbs are nice and safe off the trigger down here. Why would that be? He's charging towards his enemy. He's got his powerful ship laser cannons ready to go. And he's not going to fire. He's been, down, flying low to the ground at what looks like from a very long distance away. she's been right in front of him this whole time, and he hasn't fired. It's just a rather interesting point, I feel. She's getting ready. Ready for what? Let's find out. For an epic jump maneuver like that, that was kind of sick to watch. And also, I am going to say, while she's busy flipping out in midair like that, that is a very nice TIE fighter. Okay, the model of that, it just looks so detailed. It's incredible, it really is. The black and the red, and Rey flipping over it, as majestic as it looks. That's an awesome shot, man. That's awesome. It's coming out at Christmas. Everyone knew that. We're in a new place, and I cannot for the life of me figure out where the this is. An A-wing's come in, or at least it looks like an A-wing. It's kind of difficult to get a still shot of it, because it's moving so quick. Look, it's blurry. I can't get it. I'm fairly confident it's something like an A-wing. And we got the city. I still don't know where this is. From what I can see, it's got a donut down here, like a docking place. It's got not one, but 2 Eiffel Towers. So I can only assume that we are in space Paris. That's all I got. I honestly trying to rack my brain thinking about where this could possibly be, and I got nothing. He doesn't look happy. That's all I'm going to say about him. However, that background, that's a very red background. It almost looks as if blood and smoke has filled the air, and it just looks incredible. That is a real visualization of, you know, the mood of what's happening. We've got red in the foreground there with his lightsaber. We've got red in the background. It's just all red. Red in Star Wars is a dark side color. This is, I feel, a dark side moment right here. Stabs him in the gut with, I was going to say the pointy bit of the lightsaber, but that doesn't make sense. With the crossguard of the lightsaber. Stormtrooper there. They're still around. Everything's on fire. Everything's red. Yeah, this is a dark side moment for real. I honestly thought we'd seen the last of this helmet. I thought we'd seen the last of a helmet like this. I really thought in The Last Jedi, he smashes the helmet against the elevator, destroys it completely. I saw that as a moving on moment for Kylo Ren. Before then, he was always conflicted as to who he was. Was he Kylo Ren? Was he Ben Solo? And he, you know, hid that behind the mask. And it showed that this is what I am. While behind it, he was, you know, in confliction. When he destroyed the mask, I took that to mean, or I saw that as meaning, I know who I am. I do not need this mask anymore. I do not need to hide. And also, I enjoyed seeing his face as well. It's so much more expressive to see Adam Driver's face. It's a joy to behold. not just because he's a beautiful man. Emotions convey very well with facial expressions, and the character of Kylo Ren, the character of Ben Solo, is an emotional one, and it's certainly that emotion was certainly built on during The Last Jedi. And you know, to see him getting a mask back, it's I feel like it's a bit of a reversion of his character. However, there is also a second option here, and that is the option that this is in fact not a helmet for Kylo Ren at all. He still doesn't need his helmet, he knows exactly what he's doing, and this could potentially be a helmet for another member of the Knights of Ren. That would be cool. We need to see more of them. Where are they at? Where are they hiding? You know? It would be, you know, cool, just even if it's just a glimpse of them. But, you know, that's a less likely option. But, you know, keep your options open is all I'm saying. Then we get to Best Bros in the Galaxy. Poe up at the back there, and Finn up in the front. Finn's hair is, you know, longer. I know John Boyega did say he had to grow his hair out for episode 9, indicating a possible time skip. Poe at the back there looks like he came straight out of Indiana Jones's closet. And also, interesting to note, Finn holding Rey's staff. So, she obviously doesn't need it anymore. She has a super dope lightsaber now. So, Finn is taken to using it as a walking stick. We seem to be on the same desert planet as we were at the start of the trailer. That would make sense, that everyone had shown up to do their part. We've got a new droid. They advertised the crap out of that black BB-8 droid for The Last Jedi, and it only appeared in for like 2 minutes of the fucking film. So, I don't know. We've got a new one. This is a hairdryer on a unicycle, as far as I can tell. I do not know what purpose this droid serves. As for where we are, this is definitely some sort of workshop, some sort of scrap place. So it is entirely possible that we are now back on Jakku as part of our desert planet, and we've picked up this new droid. And he's copying BB-8 because, you know, how adorable is that? Gotta sell that merch, right? Back in the Falcon, traveling through hyperspace. Who's this in the pilot seat? It's your boy. It's Lando Calrissian. This is the only shot we get of him in the entire trailer. But he's back. He's flying the Falcon again. Which, you know, we saw in Solo. And we saw in Solo as when he first had the Falcon. And now he's got it back. Oh, no, well, he's flying it again anyway. The saga comes to an end. Usually when people say the saga, certainly in terms of these Star Wars trilogies, is the Skywalker saga. So, is this the last film about the Skywalkers we're getting? Is this the last main series Star Wars film we're going to be getting? Who knows? I certainly hope not. But something's ending. Coming in the fire, 3PO's just hanging out, being so useful. Still on Desert Planet, I feel like a lot of the film's going to be taking place here. This is definitely some sort of thrown together junk speeder. It's not. It doesn't look very new, let's put it that way. An A-Wing is crashing. I've been trying to find a good place to pause this one, because there is something that I want to share. It's very difficult because it fades into the next shot. This is as best as I can do. What we see Ignore the medal. We're ignoring the medal for now. We'll come on to that in a second. Behind the medal, I'm trying to point, but you can't see where I'm pointing, so I'm going to have to use the mouse. We see the outline of a big ship, like there. Here we see the grey, here we see the red. This looks like a Venator-class cruiser, which turned into Star Destroyers, but before that, if you've seen the Clone Wars, if you've seen Revenge of the Sith, which I'm sure you have, this is the red and grey Republic cruiser. That's what it looks like. This is what I'm hoping for. Are these the allies? Are these the allies against the First Order? That would be nice. The Republic cruisers were like top notch. So I don't know. I just thought that in amidst this quick transition, that would have been easy to miss. So I wanted to share that. A medal. Is that the same medal that they got from episode 4? I've only just thought of that. That would be a nice touch. This is, though we don't see her face, I'm fairly certain this is Leia. And she's cradling the medal that she gave out, if this is the same medal. I'll have to find a picture and cross-reference. But cradling the medal that she gave to Han and Luke at the end of episode 4. Obviously some, I say obviously, but some reminiscing going on here.
We'll always be with you.
That was such a nice moment. We will always be with you over the shot of Carrie Fisher. Melts my heart. It's just beautiful. It really is. And Rey in that moment shedding a tear. It leaves me speechless. It really does. I had to pause that at the right time because it cuts away to the next shot quickly. But I'm pointing again. Finn's got a dope new jacket. He's lost the staff that Rey gave him because he's a terrible person. Poe looks like he's had a bit of an injury, possibly from that skiff blaster fight. He's rolled up his sleeves. He's getting down to business. Rey, she's just looking. 3PO, Chewie's an innocent bystander. He's been pushed to the back, which is a shame. And we've still got our hairdryer droid for some reason. He's still around. He better play an important part of the story, otherwise I don't know why he's here. But yeah, not in the desert anymore. That's a plus. Where are we? Well, I suppose I shall let this next shot explain that. The remains of a Death Star. I am going to say that this is the second Death Star, meaning we are on Endor or one of its moons. Was Endor the moon or was it the planet? We must be on the forest moon of Endor or one of the neighbouring moons or planet. I don't know a better way to phrase that, to be honest. The reason I'm going to say it's the second Death Star is because of this.
No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone. And then the maniacal laughter of Emperor Sheev Palpatine, the Senate himself. Oh my lord. That sent shivers down my spine when I heard that the first time. Oh my god. If he is back, then that would be amazing. His character was just, straight down or straight up evil in the original trilogy. His character was fleshed out so much more in the prequels, and that made me really love him as a villain. And if he's back now to finishing the job, that would be beautiful. Star Wars. We all knew what it was. But it's a nice colour, isn't it? A nice blue colour. I'm fairly certain I'm right in saying for The Last Jedi, Star Wars in this part of the trailer when it comes up was in red. Red, as I discussed earlier, is in Star Wars a rather dark side colour. Blue, on the other hand, is a very, light side colour. I think it is fairly safe to say this film is going to have a nice happy ending. I don't see a situation where, everyone loses and everything goes to shit. But in contrast to the red of The Last Jedi, the blue of this one is... honestly, I see it and it looks powerful. It really does. When I saw the red on The Last Jedi in the first trailer for that, I looked at it and I thought, this looks dark and scary and moody and bad things are going to happen. And I see this blue and I'm filled with hope. I really am. It fills me with hope. And the title. The Rise of Skywalker. This is the end of the saga and Skywalker is rising. Who knew? The name Skywalker, however, there are only 2 living Skywalkers in the galaxy. There's Leia and there's Ben. There's Kylo. Ironically, neither of them carry the name Skywalker. We have Leia Organa and we have Ben Solo. And Skywalker is apparently going to rise. Rey, I think, has been discounted as a Skywalker. I think if she ends up being the Skywalker, that would be a pretty cheap move, to be honest. People have been saying that since The Force Awakens. And I think they're right. So, the Rise of Skywalker, could that possibly mean, Ben Solo returns? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait for another 3 months until we get another trailer. This is also part of the reason why I said it would be unwise to rule out Tatooine as that desert planet. Because, essentially, the entire saga of Skywalker started there. That's where Anakin was born, and that's where his mother was. That's where, really, he started his journey to becoming Darth Vader as well, in Episode 2, when, the whole thing with the Sand People. And also, Luke Skywalker lived there all of his childhood. Tatooine is a very, strong focal point for Skywalkers. And I think going back there to end it all would I think, done right, would be strong. And then, when's it coming out? December. We knew that already. This film is not yet rated, although everyone knows it's going to be a 12A. So, may as well just write that there. I am so excited for this film when it comes out. I am filled with hope. Like I said, this blue fills me with hope looking at it. Looking at it really is amazing. It really is. Right. I'm going to edit this and upload it as soon as I can. But until we find something else out about this film, see ya.